Hi everyone, very good evening and welcome back to Geeks for Geeks practice and welcome back to another problem of the day as well. Please give me a quick +1 in the chat if my voice is clearly audible to everyone and everything is working fine. Then I'll start with the problem as well. So you can give me a +1 in the chat and hit the like button as well, and then we'll start off with the problem as well. So please like the video as fast as possible so that we can start off with the problem. All right. So let's get started with today's problem. It's very close to my heart, to be honest. It's a very good problem and it's very close to my heart because I feel it's a very good concept. Right now, let's quickly add my screen as well. Right. So the problem, like if I'll remove this all code, right? So the problem was maximize the profit by choosing a subset of intervals. Okay. Basically, if you will see this problem, so this problem has been previously asked in Google. Okay. It has been previously asked in Amazon. It has been previously asked in Adobe. Okay. It has also been previously asked in Atlassian. So there are a lot of companies that have asked this particular problem first of all. Okay. And this problem is based on the concept of DP plus binary search. Okay. We all know about DP. Okay. We know about the concept of DP. We also know about the concept of binary search. So in this problem, we will see the mixture of the dynamic programming along with binary search. Okay. So if you are as excited as I am, please give me a +1 in the chat again. Okay. This problem has been asked in Google, Amazon, Adobe, Atlassian, and it is based on the concept of dynamic programming as well as binary search. Okay, so both of these concepts will be applied. Is this much point clear? Then we'll discuss this problem further. Okay, please keep the comments moving. Okay, so what we have to do in this particular problem is we will be given a list of intervals. Okay, like what we will be given is like we'll be given a list of intervals. Like let's say that we have been given, like let me draw a number line. Okay, like we will be given a list of intervals. Like let's say if the intervals are like this, like let's say start one, end one. Okay, this is interval one. Let's say next interval is s2 e2. Okay, let's say next interval is s3 e3, something like this. So basically for every interval there is a starting point and there is an ending point, right? For every interval there is a starting and ending point, right? Is it clear to everyone? Like if I'll be very honest with you, so let's say that if I have drawn this number line, let's say if an interval is like 7 comma 10, another interval is like let's say 5 comma 9. Okay, let's say another interval is like 1 comma 2, something like this. Okay, so in this case if you will see, so the interval 1 comma 2 will be what, like this. Okay, this is 1 comma 2. Let's say another interval is 5 comma 9. Okay, let's say this is 5, this is 9. Another interval is let's say 7 comma 10. Right, this interval 7 comma 10. Right, so what you need to do is you need to choose them. Like you need to do what, like if you will see this particular example here, right? So it says that you will be given these intervals, right? So basically let's say these are some jobs. Okay, let's say these are some jobs. Let's say you can do this job. Okay, from 7 to 10. Okay, let's say you can do this job starting from 5 till 9. Right, is it clear to everyone? These are kind of intervals, or you can say jobs or something similar to that. Okay, now in this question what you have to do is you can do what, like you can, let's say that if you choose this interval, guys, let's say that if you choose this interval, right? If you choose this interval, right? So if you choose this interval from 5 to 9, right? If you are working from 5 to 9, so can you choose another, like if you are doing one job, okay, let's say if you are doing one job from 5 to 9, right? So can you do another job from 7 to 10 at the same time which is overlapping? No. Please write no in the chat. No, na, you cannot. Is it clear to everyone? If you are doing a job from 5 to 9, okay, then you cannot do another job from 7 to 10. You cannot do another job from 7 to 10. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? Okay, we need to choose non-overlapping. Yes, so we don't want overlaps. Please write clear in the chat. Is it clear to everyone? Let's say if you are choosing 5 comma 9, then you cannot choose 7 comma 10. Okay, if you choose to do the job from 5 comma 9, if you do this job, then you cannot choose any job that is overlapping with it. You cannot choose this job. Is it clear, guys? Is this point clear to everyone? Okay, I hope that it's pretty much clear. Right, now with respect to, let's say, every job, okay, now with respect to every job, what is the scenario, right? With respect to every job there is a profit associated with it. Let's say this is profit 1. If you do this job from 1 to 2, then there is a profit 1. Let's say if you do this job from 5 to 9, let's say you'll get a profit of whatever, 1520, whatever. So let's name it as P2. If you do this job from 7 to 10, then you will get P3. Is it clear to everyone? Is this point clear to everyone? If you do this job from 1 to 1 to 2, you will get P1 profit. If you do this job from 5 to 9, you will get P2 profit. If you do this job right from 7 to 10, then let's say you'll get some P3 amount of profit. Is it clear? Is it clear to everyone? Right. Now, in this case, what you have to do is, like, let's say if this case is given, right? So 1, 2, 1, 5, and 2, 4. Let's say, let me draw it. Okay. Let's say this is a number line. Now, if I have 1, 2, then I have 3. Okay. Then I have 4. Then I have 5. So let's discuss the sample test case 1, 2, and let's say this is 1. Okay. This is 2. And the profit that I'll get is 4. Okay. Then another job is from 1 to 5, and the profit that I'll get there is what 7. Okay, and another job is from 2 to 4. Right, another job is from 2 till 4, and the profit that I will get is 4 again. Okay, the profit that I would get is now 4 again. Right. So if you will see here, guys, if you will see here, like, can I say, guys, can I say that if let's say I take this job, I take this job starting from 1, okay, and ending at 5, right, then the profit that I will get is 7 only, right? Because in this case I cannot choose any other job, right? I'll get, like, sorry, the profit, yeah, the profit that I'll get is 7 only. In that case I cannot choose any other job, right? But if you will see in this case, other than this, what I could have done is, if I have this test case, right? So if I am having this particular case, right? So if I will, let's say, choose this job, and it will start from 1 and end at 2, right? So I'll get a profit of 4. Please write 4 in the chat, or plus 4 in the chat. Okay, I'll get a profit of plus 4 for myself, right? If I choose this job from 1 to 2, then once this job has been done, then I can choose the job from 2 to 4, and it will give me again a profit of 4. So plus 4 again, so the total profit that I'll get is 8. Is it clear to everyone? In this case, is it clear to everyone? Right, is it clear? Okay, so can I say that, like, see, if you will see this case, right? So I can say that either, right, either, what I can do, I can do a particular job, right, do a job, right, or I can skip it, right? Either I can do a particular job or I can skip it. Either do a particular job, or you can do what or you can skip it, right? So basically I'm saying that this is like, there will be various cases. Please write many in the chat. There will be many cases in this question, right? There will be many cases. There will be many cases, or like, all, there will be many possibilities. Basically, please write POSS in the chat. There will be many possibilities in this particular question, right? Because there will be various ways of getting doing, like, let's say, if there are n number of jobs, so either I can do this job, then not do this job, then do this job, then do this job, then not do this job. So those kind of scenarios will be there. Are you clear with this thing, guys? So there will be a lot of possibilities, and when there are a lot of possibilities, so I need to consider all of them. So when I need to consider all possibilities, what comes to your mind? Please write in the chat. When I think about all possible situations, when I think about all possible conditions, what comes to your mind? Please hit the like button, guys, if you are clear till this point. Okay, if you're clear till this point, you can hit the like button. What comes to your mind when I think about all the possibilities, right? When I have to think about all possible combinations, right? When I have to think about all the possibilities, then please write recursion in the chat, or rec in the chat. Recursion is the thing that comes to my mind. Okay, so basically when I think about all possible situations, then the recursion things come to my mind. Okay, and out of this I will choose the maximum, right? I'll always choose the maximum state. So basically recursion comes to my mind. Okay, and then we'll see how DP is also overlapping. But if you are clear till this point, please hit the like button, guys. Is everyone clear till this point? Is everyone clear till this point, that basically what you have to do is, you have to find the maximum number of like, you have all the possibilities. Now for generating all possibilities, you will use recursion, and then after that you will choose the maximum out of it, right? So that is the condition here, right? And you can do what, either you can take a particular job, or you can skip a particular job, right? Okay, this is the scenario, right? Is it clear? So what can we do here, right? What can be done here? So if I will see this particular case now, like, if I have, like, let's see here. So what can I say, like, recursion, yeah, we will try all possible combinations. So what I can say is, let's say we will return what, we will return the recursion. Okay, and like, one more thing is there. If I want to try out all the possible situations, right? So let's say initially the intervals are given something like this. Let's say the interval is given like 7 comma 10. Okay, let's say this is the interval 7 comma 10. Okay, then another interval is 1 comma 2, then another interval, let's say, is 5 comma 9, then another interval is, let's say, 2 comma 3, something like this. So can I choose, like, if I am at this interval, right? So, like, how can I identify if I'm starting from here? So can I say that I'll sort the interval array, please write sort in the chat. I'll want the interval array to be sorted such that I can first of all look at 1 comma 2, then 2 comma 3, okay, then 5 comma 9, and then 7 comma 10. Okay, is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? Please write sort in the chat. The first thing that I will want to do is I'll like to sort this array so that things are much more easier for me, because if I have a random interval starting and ending intervals randomly, then I cannot decide anything properly. But once it is sorted, so it will be easier for us to navigate through these intervals. Is it clear? Please hit the like button, guys, if you are clear till this point. Is everyone clear with this part? The first thing is that the very first thing is that you will sort this array. So please write sort in the chat. Is it clear to everyone? The first thing is that I will sort this particular array. Is it clear, guys? Please let me know. I will sort this particular array. You can write sort in the chat, everyone. Tarun, are you clear with it? What about other people? I hope that Vanjika is also clear. Programmer zone is also clear. Others must also be clear, right? I need to sort this interval array. That will be the best thing for me, right? So I'll say that okay. Let's sort this array. Okay. So sort intervals dot begin comma intervals dot end. Okay, so I'll basically sort this in ascending order, right? Now once I have sorted it, then I'll call the recursion. Okay, can I say that from where will I start after I have sorted the intervals? So I'll start from the very beginning. Okay, so I'll start from the zeroth index. Please write 0 in the chat. Is everyone clear that I'll start from the zeroth index? Okay, is everyone clear with this point, that I'll be starting from the zeroth index, right? So I'll start from the zeroth index and I'll pass this interval array. So interval array, right? I'll start from it. This is what I've written in the recursion. I hope that this much point is clear to everybody, right? Now, what will this function return? This function will return me the maximum profit, right? So if I am having int recursion, okay, then I'm having the ith index, like ith job that I'm trying to do. Let's say it is job or it is some particular thing, meeting or anything, right? Then what will I do? I'll pass this intervals thing also, right? I'll pass this intervals also here. Is it clear to everyone till this point? Can you tell me about the base case in this condition? Like, let's say if my this is the ith job, right? Then this is the ith job, then this is the ith job. So when is the base case? Like, when will I hit the base case for this recursion? What is the base case for this recursion, guys? Can you tell me what is the base case for this recursive approach? The base case is that when I is equal to n, when I have exhausted all the jobs, or when I have exhausted all the intervals that I was given, then I cannot make any further profit, right? If I have exhausted, like if I have exhausted all the jobs, right? All the jobs, right? All the jobs, or you can say meetings or anything, right? Meetings, or you can say intervals, right? Then in that case you cannot make any further profit. So in that case you will say that okay, if I is equal to n, okay, that is nothing but intervals dot size. Let's say intervals dot size, right? So in this particular case I'll simply return a 0. Is it clear to everyone? Okay, this point is clear, right? Now can I say that one thing is there, right? One thing is there, that if I am at like if there are some jobs, right? If there's a starting point, ending point for this job, right? Let's say there's a starting point, ending point for another job, right? Let's say there's a starting point, ending point for another job. And if I am like if I am at a particular ith job, right? So either I can take that particular ith job or I can skip that particular ith job. Please write take skip in the chat. Are you clear with this thing? Either I can take this ith job, right? So let's say we will consider the take condition, but one thing is that I can skip it, okay, and I can call the recursion for I plus 1th job. What do you think? What do you think, guys? Is it clear to everyone? Either I can take the ith job or I can skip the ith job. What is your opinion on this, guys? Is everyone clear with this idea that either I can take the ith job or I can skip the ith job? Right, either I can take it or skip it. So I'll say that okay, let's say that int skip will be what? Let's see. Skip will be nothing but what? I'll call the recursion, okay, for I plus 1, and I'll pass the intervals. Right, is that clear to everyone? I'll pass the intervals array. Right. Otherwise, what I can do is I can take this particular ith job, right? So when I take this particular ith job, then what will happen, right? See, if I want to take this particular ith job, then what will happen? Can anybody tell me? Anybody can tell me what will happen when I will take this ith job, right? So see, when I will take this ith job, right? So in that case, can I say that the profit associated with this job will be given to me? So the profit will be what? Interval of I 2. Okay, because in every ith interval, right, you can see that in every ith interval, what is there? Every ith interval behaves like a, let's say this is the ith interval. Okay, so every ith interval has the starting index, ending index, and the profit associated with it, which is stored at the index 2, 0, 1, 2. So that is why in the interval array, this will be known as intervals. Okay, for the ith interval, I want to like this is for the ith interval. So let's say if I'm writing intervals, okay, so this will be for the ith interval, okay, 2. So I'll take the profit of it. Okay, then what will you call, guys? Tell me. Many people will tell me that okay, call the recursion for I plus 1, okay, comma this thing intervals. What do you think? Is this the right thing to do? Is this the right thing to do? Yes or no? Please tell me. Is it the right thing to do? We have to skip all the overlapping intervals. Yes, we have to skip. Right? We cannot. Can we call it like this? No, we cannot call it like this. Like after you, like let's say you take the ith job, right? So if you take the ith job, right? If you are taking the ith job, right? If you are taking the ith job, then what happens? Then you get the profit associated with it, right? But then will you call the recursion for the next job, and then you will call this thing like the intervals array? No, no, you cannot call it like this. Can you call for the I plus 1th guy? No, you cannot. Why you cannot? See, basically, I need to tell you one more thing here, right? See, if let's say this kind of scenario was there, let's say you picked up this job. Let's say you picked up this kind of a job. Let's say this was the job that you picked. Let's say this job is starting from let's say 1, okay, and it ended at 10. Right. So let's say this was the ith job that was there with you. Let's say this was the ith job, right? And let's say this is another job from 2 to 5, let's say, okay. Then this is another job, let's say from 6 to 8, okay. This is another job, let's say from like let's say this is another job from 6 to 7, let's say, okay. This is another job from 8 to 9, and let's say this is another job from 9 to 10. Assume this thing, okay. Assume this thing. So like you will say that okay, this is the I plus 1th job, this is the I plus 2th job, right? This is the I plus 3th job, right? Then this is the I plus 4th job, right? But guys, can I say one thing, right? Can I say one thing? Let's say if this was the job from 12 to 15, right? So tell me this thing, guys. If this ith job is ending at 10, right? If this ith job is ending at 10, right? If it is ending here, right? Are you getting my point? If this ith job is ending at this point, if this ith job is ending here, right? So can I do this I plus 1th job, this I plus 2th job, this I plus 3th job? Can I do this I plus 4th job? No. Please write no in the chat. Please write no in the chat. I cannot. And please hit the like button if you are clear till this point. Is everyone clear till this point? Please hit the like button. Guys, if you have understood till this point, please hit like. Okay, can I do the like can I do it like will you check for every job, right? See, then if you see if you will next time if you will call for this I plus 1th job, then you will say that okay, in the loop you will say that okay, I cannot do it. Then you will say that okay, I cannot do this one. Then you will say that okay, I cannot do this also. Then after that, when you will call for I plus 1 again, then you will say that okay, I cannot do this one also, right? Is that clear? So please write linear in the chat, right? Please write linear in the chat. There's one like if I'm doing the ith job, right? Is see, if I'm doing the ith job, then if I call for the I plus 1th job, then I have to check that okay, like does it overlap with me? Then I have to check for the I plus 2th job. Then I have to check for the next job, right? So if they keep on overlapping, then it will be linear. Please write L in the chat. Please write linear in the chat. Okay, this will be kind of a linear search approach, right? That okay, I'm checking for the next job that I can do, right? I am checking for the next job that I can do. Like you remember this thing, like very basic thing. If you remember this, you can write remember in the chat. Like if I'm saying that you cannot take two adjacent element at a time in an array, right? Let's suppose there is an array, okay, and I have told you that okay, if you have taken the ith element, then you cannot take the next element, okay. So in that case, what you do, if you take the ith element, so you add the ith element in your answer, plus you call for the recursion for I plus 2. Please write I plus 2 in the chat, okay, because you will skip I plus 1. So please write I plus 2 in the chat, okay. Then you will call the recursion for this index, right? I plus 2. Normally, you must have heard about this problem, house robber or something similar, right? Like this, right? Burglar problem, house robber problem, something like this. So basically, if let's say you are taking the ith guy, then you cannot take the adjacent guy. So you will skip the I plus 1th guy, and you'll call the recursion for I plus 2. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? Please let me know. I think this problem is named as stickler thief in GFG. Okay, stickler thief in GFG. Okay, please write yes in the chat. Are you clear with this? Please write I plus 2 in the chat. Like if I'm saying that you cannot take adjacent, right? Cannot take adjacent. If I tell you that okay, you cannot take adjacent, right? You cannot take adjacent, right? So in that case, if you take the ith guy, right? So then you have to skip the I plus 1 there. So you'll call the recursion for I plus 2. Is it clear to everyone? Please write I plus 2 in the chat, everyone. And hit the like button if you haven't already. All right, this is what is going to happen here. Right. So similarly here also, now if you will see here also, so basically this is a linear search, right? That okay, I have to check for this guy, right? Then I have to check for this guy, then I have to check for this guy, then I have to check for this guy. So indirectly for this ith guy, I might have to iterate the whole array in the worst case, right? Whole all of the intervals. So please write n in the chat. It will take order of n time for this linear approach. For getting the next index in the DP state, it might, like for one particular ith DP state, it might take me order of n time. What do you think? For finding the next jth index, right? For finding the next jth index, right? From where I can start, right? In this case, you can see that if I tell you that okay, you if you have taken ith, then you cannot take I plus 1th, then you will take I plus 2th. So that is the jth index that you are having here. So similarly here also, I'm saying that now you need the, like this is the, if you are doing the ith job, then the next job that you can do is this job. Like the next job that you can think of doing or not doing is this one, right? This one, right? This jth. So please write j in the chat, right? And normally it will take order of n time if I'm doing it linearly. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone, guys? Is it clear? Is it clear to all of you? Please let me know if you are clear with this point. Is everyone clear with this point? Okay, so if this is the case, right? If this is going to be the case, in that case, if I can apply something linear search, right? So can I say that it is sorted? Okay, the array is what? The array is sorted. The interval array is sorted, right? If the interval array is sorted, right? So in that case, what can I do, guys? Can you tell me? If let's say the interval array that is there, if it is sorted, right? So I need to find the next index that is just greater equal to me, right? Right? Are you getting this point? If I take the ith guy, right? If I take the ith index, right? If I'm taking the ith index, right? So what is the current ending, right? What is the current ending? Current ending is nothing but, let's say, if I name it as array arr or interval also, like it totally depends on me how I name it. So let's name it as interval. Okay, interval of I1, right? I1, yeah. This is the current ending, right? Can I say that I want to find the next index, right? The smallest index, like I want to find the index of the element that is just greater equal to the current end, just greater equal to the current end, right? I want to find the index of the element that is just greater equal to the current end. That is nothing but the lower bound, let's say, lower bound. Okay, index of the element that is just greater equal to uh, uh, index of the element whose start is just greater equal to the current ending. Is it clear? Explain again, sir. I am late, sir. Which part you want me to explain, Rohit? You can tell me. I'm not sure how much late you are actually. Right? Is it clear to everyone? I want the index, like start time of the next interval is equal to lower bound. Yeah. So I'll write a binary search for it. Okay. So now every query, like earlier I was doing a linear search. Now I'll do binary search. So it will take me logarithmic of n time for every query. Okay. So I'll find this jth index for myself. Okay. I'll find this jth guy for myself. Okay. And I'll write a binary search by myself. Okay. So what I need to do is I need to find the index of the like I want to find the index, the jth index. Okay. Such that it is greater equal to, like it is greater equal to the current, like such that I want to find this like index of a particular interval, such that its starting is greater equal to the current end. Is it clear to everyone? Please write clear in the chat, guys. Is it clear? Please write j in the chat if you are clear with this. Please write j in the chat. Is it clear to everyone? Please let me know, guys. Is it clear to everyone? Please let me know. I want to find the jth index, right? I want to find the jth index, right? Such that the smallest index j, right? I want to find the smallest index j, such that its starting point is just greater equal to, the current ending, just greater than or equal to current ending, right? So I can do a binary search for that, right? So I'll say that okay, let's have this thing. Okay, and now what I will do is, let's say I'll find the int jth index. Okay, and for that I'll write binary search, right? Let's name it as binary function. Okay, this is what I will write, and I'll say that okay, in this function what I'll pass is, I'll pass the ith interval. Okay, and I'll pass the intervals array. Is it clear to everyone? Okay, so it will give me the jth index, right? Is it clear to everyone till this point? It will give me, this function is going to give me the jth index. Okay, now I'll write this function. So int, let's say binary function, uh, okay, and int I, let's say it is int I, and let's pass this intervals array as well, right? Okay. Now, what is the starting point, guys? Like, see, when I'm doing binary search, so can I say that my lowest, like, low is what? Like, can I say that I need to search from where? I need to search from I plus one, correct or not? I need to search from I plus one, and I need, like, I can search till which point? I can search, please write I plus one in the chat. I will search from the jth index, right? If I have taken the ith index, so now the jth index will lie between j plus one till the end. So it will be nothing but intervals dot size, okay, dot size minus one. Is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? Right. Till the end of the array. Right. Is that clear to everyone, guys? Low is equal to, like, my lowest range that I can search in is I plus one, and the highest that I can search is intervals dot size minus one. That is, like, that is from I plus one till the end. I can try to search. Okay, these are the valid indexes. Is it clear to everyone? Please write yes in the chat and hit the like button if you are clear with this point also. Is it clear? Please write clear in the chat, guys. Like, this is going to be my range. Okay, this is going to be my range. Now, is it always necessary? Like, see this thing, guys. Let's suppose, assume this thing, that if I take this guy, right, if I take this guy, right, if I take this ith interval, okay, and it started from 1, okay, and it ended at 10, okay, and let's say after, like, there were several intervals like this. Let's say this was one interval, okay, let's say another interval was this one, another interval was this one, another interval was this one. So tell me this thing, guys, like, if this is the ith interval, right, if this is the ith interval that I've taken, okay, this ith interval that I've taken, I've highlighted it with white. If this is the ith interval that I've taken, right, now, is there any interval after it? Is there any interval that is, like, after this interval, is there any interval that is having the starting time greater equal to the current end? This is the current end. So is there any interval that is having starting time greater equal to the current ending? No. No, please write no in the chat. No. So in this case, J does not exist. Please write J minus, please write minus one in the chat. In this case, J does not exist. In this case, J does not exist. Please write minus one in the chat. In this case, J does not exist. Because if this interval is there, right? If I, let's say if I take this ith interval, right? If I take this ith interval that I'm trying to highlight, okay, in that case, I will not have any other interval that is having the starting time greater equal to this current interval's ending. Okay, so I'll not have any J. Is it clear to everyone? Please write minus one in the chat if you're clear with this point, guys. Is it clear? Please write minus one in the chat, guys, if you are clear with this point. Is everyone clear? Let's say Naikaj is clear, Rohit is clear. Like, Kamal, are you clear with this? And everyone else is clear or not, guys? I'm basically saying that if I take, let's say this is the ith interval that I take, okay. If this is the ith interval, let's say there were several other intervals here also. But if this is the ith interval that I take, and after that, like, I keep on iterating, like, this is the current ending, right? Now, after that, if I, let's say, do not have any interval, right? So in that case, there will be no jth index, right? So J will be minus one. Okay, J will be minus one. So that is why it might happen that it might not exist, right? It might, my answer might not exist. So in that case, I'll mark my answer as nothing but minus one. Okay. In that case, for that case, I have kept my answer as minus one. Now what I've done is I will mark my low as lesser equal to high, right? And let's say I'll do the binary search. So I'll say that, okay, mid is equal to nothing but, let's say, low plus high divided by 2, right? This is what my mid will be, right? Now I will check for what, like, if, let's say, if I'm talking about the current ending, so let's say int, what is the current ending? So current end is what, like, current ending, current intervals ending is nothing but intervals of what, I1, right? I1, right? This is the current end. Now I want what, let's say, if I'm at a particular new index, right? So if it happens, right, that the starting point of this interval that I'm at, so if the starting point of this intervals, okay, if the starting point of this intervals, right, if for this mid interval that I'm at, okay, if it's a starting point, please write 0 in the chat. The starting point of any interval is, like, starting point of this mid interval that I am at will be nothing but at the index 0, right? If the starting point of this interval, let's say, if it is like, if it is lesser than, right, if it is what, if it is lesser than this particular thing, if it is lesser than the current end, right, if it is lesser than the current ending, right, so in that case I have to skip it. Please write skip in the chat. Okay, in that case I have to skip it. What do you think, guys? If the starting point of this mid interval that I am at, if it is lesser than the current ending, right, if it is lesser than the current interval's ending, then I have to skip it, right? So if this guy, like as like I am saying that, let's suppose that I am at a particular mid guy, right, says that it is having the starting point lesser than my current ending. Let's say this is my current ending, okay, and this mid interval is having the ending uh, just like before it is having ending, like sorry, if it is having starting before my current ending, right, so I have to skip this, and similarly I have to skip all the people before this mid also, right. So I'll say that okay, in that case I will have my low as mid plus 1, right. If the mid interval is having the start, okay, lesser than the current end, right, so all the intervals before mid also will be having start lesser. So I have to search in the right side, so I have to search in what, I have to search for low is equal to mid plus 1, right. Is it clear to everyone? Please write mid plus 1 in the chat. Are you clear with this thing, guys? Please hit the like button if you are clear with this point. Is everyone clear with this point? Please hit the like button and give me a plus 1 in the chat. Is everyone clear that this is what I need to do? If the current mid interval that I am at, okay, if it is lesser than the current ending, then I will do this thing. Then I will say that okay, low is like I'll say that low is equal to mid plus 1. Is it clear? Please write yes in the chat, guys. I hope that this point is very much clear to everybody. Is it clear, guys? This is what I'll be doing, right? Otherwise, what will I do? Otherwise, if that is not the case, right? So if it happens that I am at a particular mid interval, right? If I am at a particular interval, right? Such that its starting point is greater equal to the current ending. Okay. So in that case, like in that case, I will store it. Please write store in the chat, right? So in that case, I'll say that okay, let me store this guy. Okay. So I'll say that answer. This is nothing but binary search and answer. I have told it several times in YouTube also. So this answer will be equal to mid, right? I'll store this guy and I'll look for something better, because if you will see, right? Let's say that this interval, let's say is ending. Like let's say the current interval, like this is the current end. Let's say okay, and the current end, let's say is equal to 10. Okay. Now if I'm, let's say if I have done the binary search and I get somebody whose starting is, let's say, if I get this guy, right? This is the mid guy, and this guy is let's say this is the mid guy that I'm at, okay, and its starting is, let's say, 50, right. But let's say there are several other intervals here also, right. Let's say there are several other intervals here also, right. Let's say there are several other intervals. Let's say this is from 11 to 12, okay, this is from, let's say, 13 to 14 or something like that, okay. If this is, let's say this is 16, okay, so this is 15 to 16. So if there is like, I'll store this guy, right, I'll store this guy, I'll say that okay, let us store this guy, okay, let's store this guy, but let's look in the left side. Okay, let us store this as the current answer, but still let's look for something better than this. So that is why I'll search in the left side. So please write mid minus 1 in the chat. Still, I will search in the left side. So I'll search for something still better than this. I'll store this guy, obviously, but I'll still look for somebody better than this in the left half. So I'll say that, okay, high is equal to mid minus 1. Is it clear to everyone? I'll first of all say that, okay, answer is equal to this current mid index. And I'll also say that high is equal to mid minus 1. Is it clear to everyone? Please write mid minus 1, everyone in the chat. Is this point clear to all of you? Is this point clear? Okay, please write mid minus 1 in the chat if you're clear with this point, everyone. I hope that Rishit, are you clear with this? Naikaj, are you clear with it? And what about other people? Are you clear with this, guys? So I'll say that, okay, high is equal to mid minus 1. That is what I'm going to do. Okay, and now after this is done, so in the end, I'll simply return the answer, that is storing the, in the end, I'll simply return the answer. Now, what is this answer storing? This answer is storing the smallest index, right? This answer is storing the smallest index of the interval that is having starting, okay, just greater equal to just greater equal to current end. What is the current end? Current end is the, what is the current end? Which current end is what? Current end is nothing but intervals of I 1, right? If I've taken the ith interval, so its starting point is the current end, right? Is that clear to everyone, guys? Is that clear? That is what I'm doing in the binary search. And now please write log n in the chat. Okay. Please write log n in the chat. Okay. Because if I take any ith interval, right? If I take any ith interval, so now for checking the jth, for finding the jth interval, right? I'm using a binary search approach, and this is nothing but logarithmic of n. This will take log of n time for one call. For one call, it will take log of n time. Okay, that is the condition here, that is the thing here. So now once I get it, right, so can I say that now if I take it, so I can say that take plus is equal to, right, so I can say that what, like I can say that okay, if I get my jth index, right, so I can say that take plus is equal to what, like can I say that take plus is equal to what, I'll call the recursion for j, right, and then I'll call the binary search for the intervals. Can I do this? No. No, I cannot. Can I do this? No. Why? Because j can be minus 1 also, right? J can also be minus 1, right? So in this case, I'll say that okay, okay. If it happens that j is not equal to minus 1, so if it exists, please write exists in the chat. After after finding out j, the j that I'm getting, if it exists, right? If j exists, right? If j exists, if there is a particular interval that is having the starting that is greater equal to current ending, then only I will call the recursion, right? So in that case, I'll say that okay, take plus is equal to, because I've already taken the profit of this much, right? Now I will say that take plus is equal to recursion of this thing, recursion of j, comma the intervals, right? Interval. Is it clear to everyone? Is this point clear to everyone? Is this point clear to everyone? Is this point clear to everyone? That is how I'm finding the next index. Is it clear? But I cannot call the recursion directly. I need to check whether j is valid or not. So if j is equal to minus 1, so if j is equal to minus 1, then I don't want to take it. Because if j is equal to minus 1, so that will mean that there does not exist any j such that it is having a starting point greater equal to the current ending. So that is why if it exists only, then I'll call the recursion. Okay, and that is when I need to add this answer, right? I have already taken this current profit for the ith interval, then I will call for the recursion of j only if j is existing, only if there exists an interval j such that it is having the starting greater equal to the ending of the ith interval. Okay, so that is why I've done take plus is equal to this thing, right? That is what I've done. And can I say that I am, I'll do what, I'll return the maximum of the take comma skip. What do you think, guys? I'll take the maximum of the take comma skip. Please write mx in the chat. 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 I'll take the maximum of the take or not take. Is it clear to everyone? I'll take, like, I'll return the maximum, right? Out of these two possibilities of either taking the ith interval or not taking the ith interval, I'll take out the maximum out of them. So please flood the chat with MX if you are clear with this thing. Rishit is clear. What about Kamal? What about Ravi? What about everyone else? Are you clear with this thing, guys? Are you clear with that, guys? Is everyone clear? Else, others are also clear with this? Please let me know, guys. Are you clear with this point? I hope it does make a lot of sense, right? So this is what I have done. Let me try and compile it also, right? Why maximum? Because why maximum? Because either you can take it, right? See, either you can take like there were two choices, na? There were two choices for take, like basically in DP when you are following up, when you are at the ith interval, so you have the choice to either take it, okay, or skip, take or skip. So you can only choose one of the choices, right? Either you can take it or skip it. So I want to choose the choice that gives me the maximum output, na? Right? That gives me the maximum output, right? So that is why MX. This will give us a TLE. Yes, this will give us a TLE definitely. So we are skipping. No, like either you will, like, see, either you can skip or either you can take. So like what will you do, like in your life? What will you do in real life if you can take something, okay, and make, like, get some profit, or you can skip something, right? So either you can take it or skip it. So you want to consider that condition which will give you the maximum. So either you will take it or skip it. So you want to take out that particular thing, that like either you can take the ith interval or you can skip the ith interval. So you will consider that condition which is giving you the maximum profit. Is it clear? Is it clear? If we skip, then its profit should not be considered. Ravi is saying that if we skip, its profit should not be considered. So I'm not considering its profit. You can see if I'm skipping it. So I'm just calling the recursion for I plus 1 comma the intervals. Okay, is it clear? Let's try and submit this code to see what will happen. Okay, others can quickly tell me what will happen when I'll submit this code. All right, let's see. Please write TLEOP in the chat. Okay, what we are getting is a TLE. Please write TLEOP in the chat, guys. Okay, please write TLEOP in the chat. Okay, please write TLEOP in the chat. Okay, what I'm getting is, please write TLE in the chat. What I'm getting is, I'm getting a TLE. Right, what I'm getting is, I'm getting a TLE. Right, I'm getting nothing but a time limit exceeded here. Right, so I'm getting a time limit exceeded. Why? Because when I think about recursion, right, when I think about recursion, right, when I think about recursion, so there can be a lot of problems, like there will be a lot of states, right? There are a lot of states that are already calculated, that are already calculated. So basically this means that overlapping sub problems, okay, overlapping sub problems. So basically what I will do is, like, please write memo in the chat. Right now, if there are a lot of states that are already calculated, so I don't want to calculate them again and again. Right, if I have to tell you this thing, like, let's take one basic example. Let's say there is a function, right? Let's say Fibonacci only, f of n, right? F of n minus 1 and f of n minus 2, right? You know Fibonacci, right? F of n can call for f of n minus 1, f of n minus 2. So let's say if I'm calling for like something like this, right? If I'm calling for f of 6, guys, suppose, right? And this will be what? This will be f of 5. Now this will be what? This will be nothing but f of 4. Now this will be what? This will be f of 4. Okay, this will be what? This will be f of 3. Now this is going to be what? This is going to be f of 3. Right, this is going to be what? This is going to be f of 2. Right, this is going to be what? This is going to be f of 3. This is going to be f of 2. Right, similarly this is going to be f of 2, f of 1, and so on. Right, so can I say that if this state f of 4 is already calculated here, will you calculate for it again and go so much down? No, you will, if you have already calculated something, guys, understand this thing. If you have already calculated a particular state, right, if you have already calculated a particular state here by going down and everything, if you have already calculated it, then you will directly return its value, na? So this is dp. Please write dp in the chat. When you come here, like, see, if you come here, right, if you come here, so you will check that, okay, is dp of 4 calculated? No, it is equal to minus 1. So let's say it is equal to minus 1 initially. So if it is not calculated, you will go down and calculate it and store it. Okay, so that next time if you have to calculate for the same value, you will not go down. You will directly return this value from it. You'll directly return from this value from here, and in this way you will save a lot of calls. Right, is it clear to everyone? Is it clear to everyone? So that is why we will be using the concept of dp here. Is it clear, guys? Is that clear? So, like, if you will see this function, right? So this, in this recursive function, how many states are changing, right? If you will see in this recursive call, okay, I have the, like, if in this recursion, what do I have? Like, in this recursion, I have the int I, okay, and I am also having the intervals, right? Intervals. So intervals array, right? Intervals 3D array I'm having. Like, basically, I'm having the intervals array. So intervals array is constant, right? This is constant, right? This is constant, or you can say this is same, right? Or this is same. So what is changing? I. Please write I in the chat. What is changing? I is changing, right, guys? I is changing. So I is the only thing that is changing here. So I only need to memorize it. Please hit the like button if you're clear till this point. I is the only state that I need to change. Correct? Please write I in the chat. So that is why there is only one state that I need to change. So what will I do here? Like, I will simply say that, okay, what I can do is I can say that, okay, vector of int, let's name it as dp, okay, and initially I'll mark all the states as -1. Okay, this is what I'm going to do with by declaring a dp array, and I'll pass this dp array in this function also. And then what I will do is in this recursive function, I'll say that, okay, let's have a dp for ourselves. So let's say vector int ampersand dp. Okay, I'll declare a dp now. And what I'll do here is, like, I'll check that, okay, if I check for the base condition, after that I'll check that if the dp of I is not equal to -1, if it is already calculated, okay, then if it is already calculated, right, this is, if this state is already calculated, right, if it is already calculated, then what will I do? I'll directly return its value, right? So I'll say that, okay, if it is already calculated, directly return its value. So directly return dp of I, right? Okay, is it clear? If you're, everyone is clear till this point, please hit the like button, guys. If all of you are clear till this point, please hit the like button. Okay, please hit like, guys. If all of you are clear till this point, you can hit the like button, right? If it is already calculated, then I'll directly return it, right? Otherwise, if it is not calculated, right? So otherwise, if it is not calculated, then I'll calculate it, okay? Calculate it, store, store it, right? Store the dp of I, okay? If it is not calculated, you'll calculate it, store the result, okay? And then return it, then return. Okay, calculate it, store it, and then return. So basically, if it is not calculated otherwise, then you will calculate it, store it like this. Okay, so you'll store it like this, and then you will return this dp state, right? Is that clear to everyone? If it is already calculated, then you will directly return it. Otherwise, if it is not calculated, so you'll calculate the final result, but before returning it, you will store it. Okay, so now, before returning it, you will do what? You will store it, okay, and then return it, okay, then return it. Okay, is it clear to everyone? And return it. Is that clear to everyone? Please let me know, guys. Okay, this is what I'm trying to do. Now let's try and see if I'm able to submit it or not now. Let's try and have a look. Okay, so yeah, I have not passed the DP here in the functions, right? So let me pass DP in the recursive calls as well. All right, let me pass DP in the both recursive calls and now try to submit it. Could you explain again why DP is why the size of the DP is n? Okay, I'll. So is it clear to everyone? The question is getting submitted, right? You can see that the question gets submitted as of now. But why is the size? Why is the DP size n? Because when I'm calling the recursion now, so I'm having int I, okay, and I'm having the intervals array, right? I'm having the intervals array, right? So interval array is same. Interval array is same, but the only state that is changing is the I state. Okay, so every time only I state is changing, that is why I'm having dp of dp for ith interval, right? So how many intervals can be there in the worst case? The size of there can be n intervals in the worst case, right? As I said, if there are n intervals that are given to me, right? So that is why I'm storing the dp of n. Is it clear to you, Rishit, as well? Is it clear? I've submitted this code. It is getting accepted. So you can write AC in the chat, guys, if you're clear till this point. If you're clear till this point, then I'll give you a quick brief about this one also. Is it clear to everyone? Please hit the like button if you're clear with this. If you're clear with this, please hit the like button. Okay. Is it clear, guys? Is it clear to everyone? Uh, Please hit the like button, guys, if you're clear with this point, right? So now talking about the time complexity and the space complexity also, right? So if you will see here, right? If you will see here, guys. So what is the space complexity of my approach? Anyone can suggest? Quickly comment down. What is the space complexity of my approach? Guys, what is the space complexity of my approach? Anybody can tell me? Anybody can tell me what's the space complexity for my approach? Can I say that the space complexity for my approach is nothing but what? Order of n, right? Because I've taken a DP state, like because I've taken an array for storing the memoization thing, right? I have a DP array, so that is order of n. Okay. Now, what is the time complexity of my approach? Time complexity, right? So if you will see for one dp state, right? For one dp state, okay, inside that dp state I'm calling a logarithmic of, like, I'm calling a binary function inside one dp state for any ith dp state, right? For any ith dp state, you can say, right? That is for one particular dp state. I'm calling a logarithmic of n function, right? I'm calling a binary search function. The class will be what, sir? This class will be what? Dale? What does Dale mean? I'm not sure. Can you tell me again? Right. So for one DP state, the complexity will be logarithmic of n. Okay. So at most, how many states are there? N DP states, right? So for overall, when the code will be running for n DP states, just this class happens daily. So now for n DP states, the complexity will be n logarithmic of n. So please write n log n in the chat. N log n. Okay. So the DP, like, this is nothing but the DP state plus the binary search, okay, that I'm doing. So that is the complexity overall, and I've sorted the array as well. So for sorting the array also, it takes n log n time. So overall, it is nothing but n log n only, right? Is that clear to everyone? So overall complexity of the code is nothing but n log n. You can write n log n in the chat, guys, if you're clear till this point. Please hit the like button. Okay, I'm again requesting that if you have understood it till this point, so please hit like. Okay, if you're clear till this point, please hit the like button and give me a +1 as well if you're clear till this point. I hope that everyone, each of you present here, is clear with this approach. Right. I'll do one thing for you. I'll quickly copy this code as well. Okay. Just give me a second. Uh, let's generate the link for it. If you're clear, will you explain tabulation technique also? Already it's almost 1 hour, so I won't be able to explain the tabulation, but it's very similar, to be honest. Okay, let me see if I've copied binary function, recursive call is also copied, and then max function. Okay, let me now generate the code. I hope that all of you are clear with this. Okay, so this code. Right, so this is the code. Well, anyways, I understood your explanation. Nice explanation, sir. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Please make sure to share it with your friends as well if you have understood it till this point. All right. Now again I'll walk you through this code a little bit again, right? So let me walk you through it again. So basically, if you will see, initially what did I do? Like I sorted the interval array, then obviously I'm using DP here because I'll memorize it, right? So for DS algo, which is the best platform, I think GFG. Recursion, starting from the zeroth index, starting from the very basic interval, the starting interval, and I'm passing the intervals and the DP here. Okay. Now there are several cases. If I exhaust all the intervals, then I'll return 0 in the end. Okay. If I have already calculated the ith dp state, then I will directly return it because I don't want to calculate some states again and again. This is nothing but memoization, right? Then I have two choices: either to skip the ith interval. If I skip the ith interval, then I'll call the recursion for I plus 1th interval. Okay. Or I have the choice to take the ith interval, right? If I take the ith interval, then I'll get the profit, right? I'll get the profit. Like if I take the ith interval, then I'll get this much profit. But when I take the ith interval, right? As I said, when I take the ith interval, so if I take this ith interval, let's say, okay. So if this is the ith interval that is there in the array, if I take this ith interval, then I cannot take this. Let's say if I cannot take this I plus 1th interval, right? Similarly, maybe I cannot take this I plus 2th interval. Similarly, I cannot take this I plus 3th interval, right? So if I normally try to look for the next element that I can think of, like I want to see what is the next element that I can take or not take. Let's say it is the jth interval, right? It is the jth interval. So will you do a linear search to get the jth interval? In that case, you one dp state will take order of n time. All right, that is something which you don't want at all. That is something which you don't want. So that is why you will do what, since these intervals are sorted, so basically according to the starting and the end, the starting time, right? So you can do what, binary search. Please write bs in the chat, right? You can do a binary search, right? So in that case, you want this jth interval, right? You want this jth interval, right? You want this jth interval, right? Such that it has the starting, right? It has the starting which is just greater equal to, which is just greater equal to the current ending, right? Which is just greater equal to the current ending. Is it clear to everyone? Which is just greater equal to the current ending, just greater equal to the current ending, right? So that is why we are applying the binary search on answer concept, right? Binary search on answer, or you can say the simple lower bound concept also. But today I have written the lower bound function for all of you. Is it clear till this point, everyone? Right. So that is why I'm applying the binary search approach here, right? So what I've done in the binary search, I'm explaining it again, right? Basically I have said that, okay, I need to find it, like the my range is from I plus 1, because my jth index will lie from I plus 1 till the end of the array. So my low and high are initialized to I plus 1 and n minus 1 respectively. Then it might happen that the index, jth index, might not exist, right? Because let's say if I consider a case like this, let's say this is the ith this thing, the interval that I've taken, and there are several intervals in between like this. So in this case, you will see that there is no jth index that exists, right? So in that case, I need to have answer as -1, because it might happen that it might not exist, right? So that is why, and I've initialized my current ending to the ending of the ith interval, that is I1. Okay. Now while the low is lesser equal to high, because in I0 the starting is stored, in I1 the in I0 the starting is stored, in I1 the ending is stored for the ith interval, and in I2 the profit is stored, right? So I'm finding my midpoint. Okay. Then if this current mid interval that I am at, if its starting is lesser, right? Can we use, can we store the start of all the jobs, and then you can do that also, that is also possible. But this is better because we are not taking any extra space, right? That is why it is better here, right? Then what I've done is, if this particular interval, right, if this particular mid interval that I'm at, okay, if its starting point is lesser than the current ending, then I want, then all the intervals before it will also have the starting point lesser. So I want to do the binary search in the right side. Okay. So that is why I want to do the binary search in the right side of the array, right? So I'll discard the left side. Okay. And I'll move to the right side. So that is nothing but low is equal to mid plus 1. Otherwise, if the current interval that I'm at, if its starting point is greater equal to the current ending, then I'll store it and I'll look for something better, as I said. Because if I'm having, like, this is, let's suppose that this is the ith interval. Okay. Right, it is ending at 10, and let's say this is interval, let's say 16 18. Okay. Let's say this is interval, let's say 12 14, something like this. Let's say this is interval, let's say something like 11 13, right? Let's say this is the current mid that I am at. Okay. So I'll store this as the answer, but I'll look for something better, so I'll move to the left side. So that is why I will mark my high as mid minus 1, and before that I'll say that, okay, current answer is equal to mid, right? That is what I've done, and I'll keep on doing it until and unless I find the best. So eventually what will happen, my answer will basically be storing, in this case my answer will be storing this particular interval. okay, as the jth interval. Okay, and once I get it in return, so I'll check if it does not exist. Then if it does not exist, then I'll not add it, right? I'll not call the recursion. But if it exists, then I'll take it. So I'll say that take plus is equal to this particular recursive call starting from the from the jth index. I'll pass this interval and I'll pass the dp here, right? That is what I'll do here. Is it clear to everyone till this point? If you're clear till this point, please hit the like button, guys. I'm explaining it for last 1 hour non-stop, right? Now after that I will say that, okay, if there are two choices, either to take the ith interval and get some profit out of that, or not take, right? So out of these two choices, I'll choose the one that gives me the maximum result. So that is why I will do what, before returning this maximum out of the take or not take, I'll simply store this dp state and then I will return it. Is it clear to everyone? Please tell me, guys, is this point clear to everyone? Please write clear in the chat and hit the like button, guys. Is this point clear to everyone? Is this point clear to everyone? Please let me know. Is it clear to everyone? Is it clear? I hope that it's clear. Right, that is what I have done. And eventually that is what my code will do. Right. So as I said, the time complexity for my code, it's going to be nothing but for one dp state, right? For one dp state, I'm going to take logarithmic of n time with my binary search concept, right? So for n dp states, it will take n log n time, plus you have also sorted, so that will take another n log n. So overall the time complexity is going to be n logarithmic of n, and the space complexity is going to be order of n, because you are taking memorization thing, right? Now what you, this question, if I'll talk about this question, so it was asked in companies like Google, okay, it was also asked in Amazon, it was also asked in Atlassian, right? It was also asked in Microsoft, Adobe, and I think Cisco has also asked this. So a lot of ByteDance, TikTok has also asked this question, right? So a lot of companies have asked this question. So I hope that you understood it inside out. Okay, and if you're clear with this, you can give me a +1, and make sure to hit like. Okay, hit the like button if you're watching the recording or if you are watching now only, and make sure to comment down understood as well. If you have understood after the video is over, make sure to comment on understood as well, and subscribe the channel as well, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Okay. So as I said, this problem is nothing but a good implementation, a beautiful implementation of DP plus the binary search concept. Right. So I hope that you have understood this problem as best as possible. So I tried to explain it as best as I could. Right. After this video is over, make sure to submit it, and also I hope that you found it very, very interesting. I'm sharing the link again. Okay, I hope that you found it useful, and if you did, so make sure to share it with your friends as well. With that being said, thanks a lot everyone for joining. I'll see you in the next live session, possibly next week. Next week. Till then, good night. Take care. Happy coding, everyone, and please make sure to like the video and share it as much as possible. This was a very good concept asked in Google, Microsoft, Amazon, Atlassian, Cisco, and every other company. So thanks a lot. With that being said, so keep coding and stay safe and stay motivated and keep your consistency for POD as much as possible. Thanks a lot, everyone. Good night and take care. Thank you.